Once upon a time, in a quiet little town called Eldermere, there lived an old woman named Margaret. She was kind, wise, and always full of joy. The townspeople adored her, and often visited her for advice or simply to share their troubles. One day, a young man named Thomas approached her and asked, "Margaret, how is it that you are always happy? No matter what happens. You never seem sad. Don't you ever feel down when things go wrong?" Margaret smiled gently and replied, "My dear, life is a mixture of sunshine and storms. Some days are wonderful, and others are difficult. But I have learned that true happiness comes from within, not from what happens around me." Thomas frowned, trying to understand. "What do you mean? How can you be happy when bad things happen?" he asked. Margaret took a deep breath and began to share a story from her past. "When I was young, I had a loving husband and children. We were not wealthy, but we had each other, and that was enough. One day, my husband fell seriously ill, and we did not have the money for proper treatment. We did everything we could, but in the end, he passed away. It was the hardest day of my life. I cried for days, believing I would never find happiness again." Thomas listened closely as Margaret continued. "After a while, I realized that drowning in sorrow wouldn't bring my husband back. My children needed me and I had to find a way to move forward. That was when I made a choice to see life differently. I understood that pain and joy are both part of life. Instead of letting sadness take over, I decided not to let difficult moments steal my happiness." Thomas looked at her in amazement. "But how did you do that?" he asked. Margaret's eyes twinkled as she answered, "Every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, today is a new day, and I will find something to be grateful for. Some days, it's harder than others, but I always find something. Maybe the warmth of the sun, the beauty of a blooming flower, or the kindness of a friend. There is always something to appreciate." Thomas thought deeply about her words. "But what if something truly terrible happens? How can you still be happy?" Margaret nodded. "It's not easy. But I remind myself that everything, both good and bad, will pass. When hardships come, I tell myself, this too shall pass. Instead of focusing on what I've lost, I focus on what I still have. My health, my loved ones, and the simple fact that I am alive. Happiness is a choice. You can choose to dwell on the bad or find joy in the good. It's not always easy, but it is possible." Thomas thanked Margaret for her wisdom, and left with a new perspective. From that day on, he made an effort to find something good in every situation. Over time, he noticed his life becoming brighter. Even when things went wrong, he learned to stay positive and find happiness in the little things. Margaret's wisdom spread throughout Eldermere, and soon, more and more people began to understand the secret of true happiness. They realized that joy isn't about what you have or what happens to you, but how you choose to see life. And so, the town became a happier place. All thanks to Margaret, who had shown them the way to lasting happiness.